Hi children, all the blessings of Janmashtami. In today's online class, I have started with civics chapter. I have already made the video of civics chapter 1 and 2. Even then I have started with the first chapter to give you some basic idea of the topics. I have discussed all the long question and short question in page wise. With that I have discussed all the main points of the chapter, giving some examples and discussing many more facts. Okay. But I cannot explain everything in the video which I have taught in 45 minutes, but I will conclude the chapter so that you are able to get the essence of the class. Okay. Children, for board exam we have to cover this much topic, and this much topic means it covers chapter 1, 2 and 3. So this many chapter can be included with the first semester examination. So I have already made the video of chapter 1 and 2. And even then starting with this only in order to explain the question answers. Children, see the first question. First short answer question is given here. What is the term, meaning of the term constitution? So that is the first answer is marked here. What is that? Constitution is a comprehensive document containing the set of rules according to the government of a country runs. What is constitution? It's a comprehensive document. I showed you, if you follow my video, first chapter 1 and 2, you will understand what is constitution very clearly. I have explained there. Okay. So it is a detailed document, written document, and it consists of rules and regulations to be followed by the people, by both the people and the government. And it has got three important organs. Which are those three important organs? Legislative, executive and judiciary. So our government has got three important organs: legislative, executive and judiciary. And who is deciding the powers and functions of these organs? The constitution. Our constitution is distributing the power among all these three important organs. Clear? Okay, the next question is that on the basis of which plan was the Constituent Assembly constituted or formed? On the basis of which plan? Cabinet mission plan. Here what do you mean by cabinet mission plan? You see, so short answer question 2 I have marked cabinet mission plan. You know that we were under the Britishers, and before leaving the country they suggested they sent a member to our country, and that member suggested that you have to form a constituent assembly. Okay, that before leaving leaving the country, you have to form the government. As a part of forming the government, you need to form first of all a constitution. You need to make a constitution. In order to make a constitution, what we need? We should form a constituent assembly, a body of people which consists people from different section, and they are responsible for making the constitution. That is the second question answer. And the next is that third one, what is known as objective resolution, that we will discuss later. That is in another page. Before that, in this chapter we have to discuss the long question. What is that? When and how were the Constituent Assembly elected? You see this here. Election to the Provincial Assembly held in July 1946. Here Provincial Assembly, you understood now, during the British period, India was divided into several provinces only. So they suggested that election should be held from each provinces. Now, other than provinces, India was consisted of princely states. And from princely states, no election should be held, but only nomination. People should be nominated. That is the answer here. Okay, it's election to the Provincial Assembly held July 1906, and princely states represented, members nominated. So all these answers, okay, you have to mark down there. Okay, next is the formation of the Constituent Assembly. Now the Constituent Assembly is formed. The next step is that we have to form our Constituent Assembly. So first sitting of the Constituent Assembly was held on December 9th, 1946, and who presided the meeting? Dr. Sachidayananda Sinha. He was the one who presided over the meeting of the first sitting of the Constituent Assembly. It is held in the Central Hall of the Parliament. Is clear? Next question is that how was the membership of the Constituent Assembly reduced as a result of partition of the country? You see, we learned that they are elected 385 members. Okay, but this number got reduced to 299 later on. You know what was the reason for the reduction of the number? You see here you see that 299 members it is reduced. What was the reason? You know that undivided India, the term means what? Before the division of the country, you know, Pakistan was also the part of India before the independence, isn't it? So after the independence only India and Pakistan separated. So before that, when the Britishers ruled in India, you know, they brought about a policy of divide and rule. Most of the time everywhere they tried to divide Hindus and Muslims. So because of their policies and their attitude, you know, there came into existence a kind of enmity between the Hindus and Muslims in India. So towards the end of the British rule, that means before the independence, there was a situation existed in our country that means sometimes a riot can even break up in our country. That was the condition, that kind of enmity between the Hindus and Muslims. So Muslims, they formed a Muslim League, a separate party only for Muslims, and they went on demanding the separate nation. At last the Indian rulers, Indian leaders, they had to agree with their demand in order to safeguard the country from the riot and other kind of violence. Accordingly, India was partitioned. So you see, in the very beginning, when the Constituent Assembly was elected, at that time both the Hindus and even Muslim members were also there. That is why the number stood through 385. Later on it is reduced to 299. Why? Because Muslim members, they boycotted, they withdrawn from the Constituent Assembly. Why? Because their demand was they have to form a separate nation. For that they withdrawn from the Constituent Assembly. That is why the number reduced to 299. Later on, this number again means at the last sitting, you know, after the formation of Constituent Assembly, number of sittings were held. Sitting means the meeting. Whenever all the members, they came for the meeting for their discussion, debates regarding any, it was a long procedure, complex procedure. Okay, it is a matter of forming a constitution for the whole nation. Which consists of different category of people, religious people, cultural background, all these. So it was a complex procedure. So that means number of times the sittings were held, the meetings of the Constituent Assembly were held. So in the last sitting means after that we adopted and passed our constitution. So in the last sitting, what was the number of the constitution? 284. 284 members were only present for the last sitting. That means for some or the other reason, some members were not present in many of the sittings, and finally the last sitting 284 members were only attended. Is it clear for you? So the next question we discuss. So the question's answer is marked there. What was the question? You know that long question. How was the members of the Constituent Assembly? What is that? Reduced as a result of partition of the country. So we understood that how the number is reduced due to the partition of the country. And the next long question is that how do you say that the Constituent Assembly gave adequate representation to all the sections of the Indian society? Children, you know that our constitution is a constitution or rules and regulations is a law book to be formed for the whole country. So our country means what consists of different religious people, caste people, who people follow different custom. All these is in lot of varieties. So we have to include all the sections in the Constitutional Assembly. Why Constituent Assembly? Why to include? Because everybody's viewpoint is a matter. Everybody's interest should be safeguarded. We should bring about equality in our society, because we have decided to form a democratic form of government. Democratic government means it always stands for the equality of the people, or there should be justice done with the citizen. All should be able to enjoy their basic rights. For that reason, our leaders, they had a very clear vision about the future India. Okay, so they decided to include all the sections of the society in the Constituent Assembly. Is it clear? So here it is mentioning that the Cabinet Mission had the ranging from the membership of the Constituent Assembly gave representation to all shades of the opinion. All shades of the opinion means people from all the category of the members were included with the Constituent Assembly, and their viewpoints and interests were taken into consideration while forming the Constituent Assembly. That is what. So here what is it? The Cabinet Mission plan had the representation to only 3 category. Which are the 3 category? They said include only general category, Muslim and Sikh. Only general category here means Muslim, Hindus comes, then Muslim and Sikh. They have never mentioned about other sections. Some minority and all they have mentioned, like Christians and some other minority. Minority means they are comparatively less in number compared to other sections. Okay, but our leaders, they opposed. They said we will include all the sections of the people in the Constituent Assembly. Like that we try to include, and their names are mentioned in this paragraph, but we don't have to go for all that names and all. So you can just leave out. And then you mentioned this line, it can be said that the Constituent Assembly was truly national in character. There can be a question, how it was truly a national in character? Because it tried to include all the sections of the people in the Constituent Assembly. Is it clear? And the next we discuss short questions. You see, short question, what is coming? What is known as objective resolution? You see, Jawaharlal Nehru picture is there, okay? And since I have pasted that questions there, you are not able to see. So, who proposed objective resolution? Jawaharlal Nehru. You see now, in between, so in one of the session, Jawaharlal Nehru in his speech, he said that what should be the real objective and aim of our constitution? It's not that simply you make some laws and rules, but we should have a clear-cut vision. We should mention the real goal of our constitution. What is the real goal? That means our constitution should be nothing. India should be a democratic republic country. India should be a democratic republic means what? There should be freedom. That means government, democracy means what? Government is by the people, for the people and of the people. The government should be, there should be election held and representatives should be elected, and those representatives should form the government, and India should be ruled by. So that means government should be formed by the people, and that government should rule the country according to the will of the people. That is why government is answerable to the people every time. In India, anything happens, any issue take place, means our medias are there, through different way we form a public opinion. So they are answerable to their each and every action. You know that what is going on in our country presently, each and every day, several issues we watch in media, okay, news and all. We see recently the Sushant Singh case is going on. In the beginning, they picturized that it is a suicide, depression theory and all they brought about. But now reality is exposed. Now people want to know the facts. Okay, now even the officials, whoever is there, they are answerable. They have to take action. So that is what when we compare to China, any other nation, you know, India is the largest democratic country. People have got a voice here, and they should rule according to the will of the people. That is what democracy. So Pandit Jawaharlal, this is what he said. We should have a clear-cut aim, objectives, goal. So India should be a democratic and republic nation. And then all those points we will be discussing. Okay. So who proposed objective resolution? Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And second question is that by whom was the objective resolution proposed? And long question, what are the points of objective resolution comes under the long question. Before that, let us discuss short question 5. What is that? Short question. Second, who appointed as the chairman of the drafting committee? You see, children, here the heading of drafting committee is given. Drafting committee. You see, when the Constituent Assembly was formed, it was divided into 8 committee. Out of 299 members, they formed 8 committee, and each committee was entrusted different work. And one of the most important committee was drafting committee headed by B.R. Ambedkar. And he was responsible for the drafting work of the Constituent Assembly. So that he is also known as the architect of the Constituent Assembly. So drafting work was one of the most important work. So he was one of the renowned person he was an educationist, economist, social reformer, and he even worked for the downtrodden people, especially SC/ST people and all. And so because of him, he brought about certain basic principles to our constitution in order to protect and safeguard the fundamental rights and bring about equality of our citizens. Okay. Now the next question is that question number 6. When was the constitution adopted and passed? When it was adopted and passed, children, we already discussed that date here. When it was adopted here it is mentioning, you see, December 9, 1946. It is adopted. You see, in the year 1946 the Constituent Assembly was formed. Now this many years have taken place, so many sittings were held. Finally we adopted and passed our constitution in the year 1946. December 9, 1946 we adopted our constitution and passed. Okay, the next is, what is that? State the significance of January 26. Now you see the significance when we discuss about January. Before the, you see, November 26 we adopted and passed our constitution. Okay, then actually we celebrate Republic Day on 26th January. Because what is Republic Day? The day in which we have declared that our that means we have accepted our constitution. That means the day in which our constitution came into force is considered as the Republic Day. Okay, so that we have chosen 26th January, but it passed and adopted November 26. Then why couldn't we celebrate Republic Day on November 26, but we have chosen the day 26 January to celebrate Republic Day? The reason we will discuss. Yes, the next structured question is that when was the resolution passed by the Constituent Assembly? Which resolution? Objective resolution passed by the Constituent Assembly. Here, when was the date given here? You see, date is given here. You see, December 13, 1946. So the Constituent Assembly formed in the year 1946. Same year only. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru brought about objective resolution. Keeping these goals and objectives in the mind, they proceeded the work of Constituent Assembly. Okay, so 1940. This is the date of what is that? Adoption of the objective resolution in the Constituent Assembly. Next is, what were the main points of the Constituent Assembly? It is mentioned here. You see, first point is a free India will be nothing. India will be a republic. You understood? I explained what is republic. The day in which our constitution came into force, that is 26 January. Okay, so republic, you understood? Republic means what? India has got its sovereignty. That means no other nation has supreme power over India, and India as government. The government will be formed by the representatives of the people. So India is a democratic country, and these people will rule the country. So elected head. Republic here means the ruler of the country will be an elected head, and it will be a democratic country. Okay, and the next is what? The ideals of the main ideals should be social, political and economic democracy. That means social equality, political equality and economic equality. Democracy means what is that? Socially means our wealth of the country should be equally distributed among everybody, and all should be treated equally. There should not be any inequality in our country. There should not be any caste system, nothing. All these that. Then political democracy means what? We should have a freedom to express our viewpoints. That is what I told you, an example of presently what issue is going on. Sushant Singh case. Okay, so they try to officials even now the people and media, they are even questioning the Mumbai police and their procedures, everything. Now the case is carried out. Now so many questions arising from different part of the country. All this, why this happened? Because we have the right, we have the political democracy. We can express our own viewpoint. We can criticize the system, government machineries, etc. Okay, the next is that economic democracy. That means equality. Okay, means the income of the country should be distributed equally among. So that is what our government has taken a certain effort in the beginning, like what is a demonetization has brought about by our country in order to stop black money, all these. So even then corruption is still existing, but as a citizen we have to know our responsibilities and duties. Once you become a responsible citizen, in future we can have a corruption free democracy. Okay, next is the republic would be grant Fundamental rights. Yes, all the citizens should be enjoyed. That means certain basic rights are there. I have explained in chapter 2. You should go there and watch the video. Okay. So those basic rights should be ensured to all the citizens. Then the state would safeguard the rights of the minority. That means not only majority, minorities. That means all should be treated equally, especially backward people, and they should be given some consideration, provisions, etc. But now the situation is that is a time that we need to make changes, because now means we can treat all the sections as equal. Means all have reached up to the level. Means earlier. They were downtrodden people. So now if you look at anybody, you see now you have to bring about this provisions on the basis of the financial condition of the citizens. Yes. Next is the significance of 26th January. What is the importance? We learned that we adopted and passed our constitution on 26th November 1949. But we had been waiting for the date to come 26th January to celebrate our Republic Day. Why we wanted to choose this particular date, 26th January? If you want to know the detailed explanation, it is there in the video, civics video. Please go through that video. Okay, detailed explanation is given there. So because of that historical reason that we had been celebrating our Independence Day on 26th January. Before we were getting the real freedom from the British, we were celebrating it as a challenge of the British. We were celebrating every day 26th January as the Independence Day. So, but after when we got the real freedom from the Britishers, we wanted to celebrate Independence Day on 15th August. But we didn't want to give up this date, 26th January. So we wanted to give some importance to this date. That is why we had chosen this particular date to enforce or bring our constitution into effect on this particular day, so that we started celebrating our Republic Day on 26th January. So children, I am winding up the topic.